morning, YouTube. So we're back for another video today. This is Christmas morning 2021. We're going to be doing the Southern Maryland stuffed ham. I'm probably going to change it up a little thing, a couple different ways from normal, but it's going to be my way and just try it, see if I like it. My family always did stuffed hams. My mother has passed, and my sister, well, before she passed, but my sister's always kept up the tradition of stuffed ham, but I've never done one. I've always been there to eat it, but never to make it. I have helped a couple times, but this will be my first time of making it. It's a long job, so we'll be cutting in and out fairly a good bit, because otherwise the video would be hours long. I've got cabbage, onions, all kinds of seasonings, from mustard powder, because I couldn't find mustard seed, celery seed, red pepper flake, salt, coarse pepper, kale, did I say cabbage already? Cabbage, cayenne pepper. I've got a number of things here to prep, and it's all got to be chopped up. So we'll bring in back and forth, in and out from time to time, and hopefully we'll enjoy. Alright, YouTube, so we'll bring you in for a quick view here. This is, as you can see, it's a lot of work. Just like the onions right now. Thank God for food processors. So this is 3 large onions that I'm cutting up, chopping to a medium cut, like my sister says, sort of like a coleslaw consistency is probably best. And then we'll go on to the cabbage, and then we'll go on to the kale. So, got my work cut out for me. We'll bring you back, as I said earlier, in and out periodically. Here, YouTube, starting to look like a war zone around here in the prep area. I thought I'd bring in some of the cabbage grinding. Third head, third and last head. Alright, YouTube, we're going to bring in for a little bit of this kale. Some people use kale, mustard greens, collards. We just use the curly leaf kale. That's all what we do. And try to keep like the big stalks out of it, because I mean, it's not hateful to bite down on one, but some people are going to probably find it, a little bit of a turn off. I don't mind. I mean, I'm a veggie person. I eat just about any vegetable. Wasn't really a big fan of broccoli sprouts, Brussels sprouts I mean, but as I got older, I sort of kind of started liking them. So, alright, YouTube, so we'll bring it back in for a little bit here. So this is a deboned corned ham. So really what you want to do, if the bone was still in, and it's been deboned, so if the bone was still in, you would just normally go around the ham and cut pockets into it that you stuff this dressing into. So with this being a deboned ham, I'm sort of kind of going to do the same thing. I'm just going to cut pockets or slices into it. It's already been somewhat trimmed. I did do a little bit more trimming on it, but not a whole lot. And I'm just going to pack these areas that I have slices into with that stuffing. So as you can see, I've got my BFB out. And we're going to go to the fridge and just start dumping all that cabbage and stuff that we had already cut up. We're just going to dump it in here. This is where our seasonings come into play. I said seasonings, not seasonings. Our vegetables. I'm going to wish I had held off dumping all that kale in there. I don't want it to be too green. And then our onions. We got cabbage, kale, and onions. We're going to have a whole lot more seasoning than we need. I did it again. I call it seasoning. Stuffing, veggie stuffings than we're going to need. So just dig in. And get this stuff mixed in. Try not to make a mess because I've already cleaned it up once. There's really no rhyme or reason to for your seasonings. My sister just does it to appearance, and Southern Maryland stuffed ham is like the Hatfields and McCoys in Southern Maryland, and no one's going to share their full recipes because everybody believes that theirs is the best, and they don't want to share them old family secrets. So I get that, but I don't mind sharing also. There was a conversation with a live chat. I think it was Smoking Joe that said something to the effect that, I don't know if someone claimed that he was using someone else's recipes or cooks or what it was. I think it's just drama myself from other people, but you know, to me personally, if someone thinks that much about what I did and wants to do it, personally I consider that flattering. So alright YouTube, I'm going to get this mixed up a little bit more and then we'll bring you back. Alright, we are back. So I'm going to start with the coarse ground black pepper. Open this first. I'd actually thought about entertaining the idea of trying to put some smoke in that ham, but I think I've changed my thoughts on that. So again, it's just, you know, you're just going to want to put this in there, mix it in, and then, you know, see what you have. This one is going to be the mystery here, because my mom used to use mustard seed. I couldn't find seed. All I could find was mustard powder. So I really don't know how much of it to put in there. So I'm just putting what I feel is good for right now. And then you know, maybe add a little bit more later, which I don't really know how I'm going to do, because I guess I could taste it raw. Then we're going to have our salt. And this is just kosher salt. I'm just getting everything a good coating on it right now. And I'll mix it in and come back. And then something I did decide to do, just for that extra flavor, you know what, I'm going to hold off on that right now. So then you come back with your red pepper. Should have had all these things opened already. And I had to buy some fresh stuff on some of this This is where the red pepper is really to taste, because some people don't really like their ham too hot and spicy. I like hot things, but to be honest with you, as I've gotten older, hot stuff is sort of kind of puts a hurting on me anymore. So I try to not put too much on there, just enough to enjoy it, but not enough to light the fire. So here we have celery seed. Not too crazy with that because that stuff pretty strong by itself. And then lastly, I had to bring a little more heat to the party. Is going to be cayenne pepper. So this I'll respect a little bit, since I already have a fair amount of the red pepper in there. And then you want to just back to, giving it a mix. Get all that seasoning in there, and I'm getting a nose full of it all right now. It smells so good. Alright YouTube, so in the name of making space, I had to sort of do some moving around. So I've got two. This is something my sister does also. Most people will just use a cheesecloth. Some people even use a white bed or a pillowcase. My sister buys these linen rags, lint-free, no colors, and you wrap them in there. So I've got two in here now. These hams can be 20-some pounds a piece, and larger, smaller. This is about an 8-pound before it was trimmed. So one of the things I'm also doing different, and I might, sort of curse myself later for it, but I'm going to try it, or I'm going to abort it later, is that tying this thing up. That's the purpose of those of the cloths, so you can pull it up. So I have one point to point this way, and I put a second one down point to point in the opposite direction. As you can see, I started with a bed underneath of it. So then you just start grabbing it and start packing into all these slits that you had made earlier. All right, we got it tied up, and do have a lot of stuff in here, but it's going to cook down a lot. So like I said, there ain't nothing wrong with having extra stuffing, in my opinion. So I'm just going to fill her on up. And then hope I can get the rags tied. Towels, linen towels tied up. I'm still here, YouTube. What I will say also, probably recommend it, is that you try and leave something up here at the top that you can hook on later, and there's our perfect little bundle. Alright YouTube, it's going in. Turkey fryer, just sort of bent the shape and use it to hold it down into the water. Don't want this thing running out of water. Don't want to run out of water at all. You want to destroy your ham. I do have my diffuser plate at the bottom of the pot to keep the ham off the bottom of the pot where all the heat is. And that 15 minutes per pound thing I mentioned earlier, that's after boiling. So let me get this thing closed up. got a Russ Jones Smoky Ribs dilemma going on here. After babysitting this pop, it seems like the old cooker, AK cooker, got a hole in it after about 15 years maybe. So, watching this one. Alright, YouTube, all done. So this is my first attempt solo of celery on stuffed ham. Normally I've helped my sister once or twice, I think, but I've never made one by myself. This is sort of kind of new. It was tied up. I cut all the strings off of it. I was trying to retain like a sort of a round shape to it, but when it draws up, because this thing does shrink up a lot, but when it draws up, you know, my strings came loose. A couple of them held, but a couple of them were actually loose, sitting in the bottom of the pan. But many flavors in this thing. It's from starting to boil, the boil time, not the time it was sitting in the pot before boil, but I probably sat in hot water for simmering water for probably about, I don't know, maybe 15-20 minutes. And from the time it started boil to present is about 5.5 hours. It's still temping at 134 degrees internal right now. You know, a lot of people, including myself, want this ham to cool all the way down. Refrigerated even is nice to have it. Put it in a pan, wrap it up, and refrigerate it, and just retain all those flavors. You have kale, you have onion, you have cabbage, salt, pepper, cayenne pepper, red pepper flakes. The pepper is a coarse black pepper. I did have, what else I have? A mustard seed, mustard powder, celery seed, and I did sprinkle the inside of the ham before I started stuffing it with Uncle Steve's pig shake. Is what I started putting on there at first. Was it the pig shake? Yes, it was the pig shake that I was putting on there. So I'm not going to be testing it. I did cut it just so I can get a picture and do a recap on the film here, on the video here. But I'm putting this thing in the fridge and let it cool all the way down. I'll enjoy it tomorrow. I'm not really hungry right now. Anyway, I've been nibbling at the dressing already, but even it's the same way. I mean, it's sort of watery blanched taste right now. You know, you taste some of the seasoning, but when this stuff cools down, it's like night and day. There's a huge difference. Some people will even tell you, when you cook it, don't try and eat it or taste it while it's hot, because you'll just be disappointed. It's just one of those things that gets all those layers of flavor as it gets cold. So that's about it. That's all I can think of. I enjoyed it. I'll definitely do another one. My next one will be a bone in, not deboned. I want to do a bone in and cut pockets in it and cook it with the bone and see if I can get more flavor. I like the presentation with the bone left in the ham. But this is plenty for just the wife and I, and she won't even eat it, very little. She'll eat the ham, but she's not going to touch the stuffing, which I'll make a daggone sandwich, toast some bread and slap some of this stuff on there, this dressing on there, and I'll eat it like that. Alright, YouTube, there's another video. Thanks again for watching. And if you enjoyed the video, please like and subscribe. It would be much appreciated. And we'll see you in the next video. This is Lance, Sleeper Barbecue from St. Mary's County, Maryland. Thank you. Merry Christmas.